Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Tombstone Tourist. Today I'm at the Alta Vista Cemetery in Gainesville, Georgia. The Alta Vista Cemetery is a 75-acre cemetery that is administered by the city of Gainesville. It was established more than 140 years ago and is the final resting place of several notable citizens, including NASA astronaut Sonny Carter, 2 former Georgia governors, and the person that I'm here to visit today, General James Longstreet. General Longstreet's grave is pretty easy to find. Just look for the flagpole at the intersection of 4th Street and 4th Avenue near the center of the cemetery. James Longstreet was born on January the 8th, 1821. His family owned a large cotton plantation here in North Georgia and was pretty well off financially. James attended the United States Military Academy at West Point, graduating in 1842. After serving in the Mexican War, he returned to America and married Maria Garland in Lynchburg, Virginia, and over the years the couple had 10 children. At the start of the Civil War, Longstreet resigned his commission in the United States Army and joined the Confederacy under the command of General Robert E. Lee. General Longstreet was not known to be an aggressive military leader, preferring to fight from a defensive position. This led to other commanders to question his ability, especially during the Gettysburg campaign. After Gettysburg, Longstreet was sent to Tennessee and North Georgia, where he participated in the battles of Chickamauga and Chattanooga. In 1864, he returned to Virginia to participate in the Wilderness Campaign. But it was at the Wilderness that Longstreet was wounded for a second time, and as a result, he would see very little action for the rest of the war. After the war, Longstreet moved to New Orleans and would dabble in politics, aligning himself with the Republicans in an attempt to reconcile the North and the South. While in New Orleans, he would serve in the state militia and later as the head of the state police in the city of New Orleans. His political views and his militia service made him somewhat unpopular in the city. So, in 1875, he and his family returned to Gainesville, Georgia, where he continued to be active in national politics. He served as minister to Turkey in 1880 and was appointed the U.S. Marshal for the state of Georgia, serving from 1881 to 1884. A large number of former Confederate officers continued to be critical of Longstreet. In 1896, he published a book called From Manassas to Appomattox. In the book, he was critical of a number of his detractors, including Jubal Early and Fitzhugh Lee, who he despised. But he expressed his undying affection and respect for General Robert E. Lee, who had stuck by him throughout the war. I think it's worth mentioning again that despite Longstreet's adverse relationship with the other Confederate officers, General Lee continued to hold Longstreet in high regard throughout the war. He often called him the old war horse. And after the war, Longstreet enjoyed the respect of General and later President Ulysses S. Grant, who appointed him to a number of jobs and posts. In his later years, General Longstreet suffered from a number of health issues, and despite his poor health, he attempted to stay active and served as Commissioner of Railroads from 1898 until his death. General Longstreet died at the age of 82 on January 2nd, 1904. He was one of only a handful of Civil War Army officers who lived into the 20th century. He was buried here at Alta Vista Cemetery in his hometown of Gainesville, Georgia. As I was leaving General Longstreet's gravesite, wanted to try and find a couple of the other more notable people who are buried here in the cemetery. There were several funerals taking place, and I did not want to intrude or become a distraction. So I decided to move on and save it for perhaps another day. This is where I'm going to end this video. If you found it interesting, please give me a thumbs up below. If you want to keep up with my future adventures, please be sure to subscribe. And if you're so inclined, please leave me a comment. So until next time, I appreciate you watching, and I'll see you down the road. So long, everyone.